Hello everyone, my name is Genessis. Welcome to Book of Genesis. Did a little e-girl thing because I've been kind of obsessed with TikTok lately and they're really funny. So I decided why not. So today we are going to be doing my monthly wrap up. This is for the month of March. So starting off, I finished Blood Rose. It's the third book in the Nightshade series. This is a series when like vampires and werewolves, the whole thing. And let me tell you, I tried reading the Twilight series last year for the first time ever. Wouldn't recommend, honestly. If it passed you by, it's okay. But I really like this series. I gave it 3 stars for the third book at least. I think it was okay, but I was always a werewolf like person. I liked Jacob more than I liked Edward, even though in the books he was way more annoying. So each pack has a fairy that looms over them and takes care of them, and they take care of a certain territory and fight off the keepers, which are the people that are trying to get to them. At this point, the werewolves don't know what they want. They just know that they have to defend them and that it's their honor to defend the fairies that I can't remember their names anymore, but they're magical beings. It was fun. Up next we have The Wife Between Us. I finished this, actually I finished the last 2 books as audiobooks. I do a lot of audiobooks. So we have The Wife Between Us. It is by Greer Hendricks and someone else. Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen? I think it's Pekkanen. So The Wife Between Us is a thriller. It's an adult thriller, and it deals with this woman who's going through a divorce and seems to be taking it very, very hard. Her ex-husband has a new boo thing. You're gonna think this is about a jealous wife, and you're gonna think about that this is about a like naive girl. It was really good. This is like my first thriller. I gave it a 4 stars. I forgot what I gave it, but I gave it a 4 stars, and it was so good. I think the reason I didn't give it a 5 stars was because it kind of left some things unsaid, and I get it, it's a thriller, but there are a couple things that just kind of like, oh, they just magically resolved themselves, and like I didn't like that. But that's the only reason, really. I know they have an anonymous girl, but I'm not really interested into that one, so I just gave it a 4 star for A Wife Between Us, or The Wife Between Us. Then we have Wicked Saints, which is like my favorite fantasy book at the moment. I bought 2 copies. I pre-ordered a copy, and then I bought a Shelf Crate Love exclusive box for the book, so I'm very excited to get it. I read this as an ARC that I got at my job from a friend, and I gave it 5 stars. The Wicked Saints is by Emily A. Duncan. It's dark and twisted, and it deals with a prince, a monster, and a cleric. That's all I want to say going into it. It has been compared to Shadow and Bone, like the Grishaverse trilogy, which I'm just reading right now. I'm reading Shadow and Bone right now, and I get the similarities already. But I feel like it's going to be something that she's going to take and make her own. I really, really like this book. Like, I really love this book. So yeah, so that was a 5 stars. Then we have Restore Me by Shadara? Oh my god. Then we have Restore Me by Tahara Mafi. This book was so good. The ending was so good. I was not expecting that. Obviously, this is the 4th book in the Shatter Me series, so I'm not going to get into details, but it was so good. I deemed it a 4 stars. If it wouldn't have been such a fillery book, I get it that we needed the fillers. I know. But it was super fillery and like, I don't want to say info dump because it wasn't, but it was just like, I just hated being as confused as Juliet was, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. As long as I get kick-ass Juliet back in the next book, then we're good. We are good. Okay? And I pre-ordered that one too, so I'm excited to review that one. Then we have On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, and this was a 5 stars. I did a mixture between the audiobook and the physical book, and I preferred the physical book better, even though the audiobook you can hear the narrator rapping. I just didn't her voice was kind of rough, and she's playing a really, like, I don't know, she's supposed to be a really young girl, and I don't know, I just didn't think it fit that well. But this book was so good. It was funny, and it was just super witty, and it had a message behind it like every Angie Thomas book has. But I just loved this book so much. Like, Bree was so naive and super caring for her family, and I can understand where she was coming from with her struggles, and I can also understand kind of being put like, people see you and they expect something from you already, and you either play into those stereotypes or you don't. And I cannot say enough how much I love this book. And can we just say that Angie Thomas can put down some rhymes? Like, I can't rap. That was so good. Good job. I don't know why I put myself in the bag. It was her, but you know. The next book I finished was Truth or Beard. This is the first book in the Winston Brothers series, and it's by Penny Reed. And this book got a 4 stars out of me. It was a really good book, and it just wasn't a 5 stars. I might continue with the series when I am bored and I need some romance. But we deal with this girl who is wanderlust, and all she wants to do is travel. And then we have I believe one of the youngest in the family of brothers and one sister. The Winston brothers, obviously, that's the name of the series. And he's like one of the youngest. He has a twin brother, and this girl has always been in love with the twin brother, but he's always been in love with her. So it's all about, she comes back from college with a degree as a teacher, and they have a romance, like kind of hate to love, but you don't really get to see the hate a lot. It's like the first chapter, and then like it's love after that pretty much, and like complications. So it was pretty good. I think it was a little, sometimes he could be a little too possessive for my taste. Also, this is a lumberjack's love story kind of thing. So he's like a little lumberjacky, they all are. And every time their description came, I was like, what? Because I always imagine a different guy. But you know, whatever, it's fine. The story was fun enough. I mean, it's a romance, so it's not like, it wasn't like totally revolutionary, you know what I mean? But it was really good. I really liked it. Then we have An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I gave this a 4 star, and it was so good. Audiobook it, please audiobook it. It was so good. There's a cast, and Hank Green speaks in a point. Actually, wait a minute. Is there a cast? There's a cast of 2 people, Hank Green and then the other girl. It is so good. I was not expecting it to be this good. I loved and hated the characters. Like, all of them were so real. Like, they all had such distinct like faults to them, and they were just so 4D, and I can see the things happening, and I could like imagine them happening in real life. They were so good, and I definitely prefer Hank over John. I don't like John Green's writing, nothing against him personally, like, but I just don't like his writing. And Hank Green just delivered it for me. He was just like, oh, you want aliens? I'll show you some aliens, and they're gonna be like robotic, and you're gonna have a main character that's super flawed, but at the same time she's so funny, and at the same time like you can kind of relate, you know what I mean? So good. Next up we have The School for Good and Evil by Soman Chainani. I hope that's how you say that. Chainani. This was a 5-star read. This is a middle grade, and I've been looking at this middle grade literally for years, and I saw it on Libby through my library, and I decided, why not? Let's just go ahead and do the audiobook. So I did, and I was obsessed. I love anything Disney. Like, anyone that knows me knows I love everything Disney, and I'm super girly, obviously, so anything Disney and like princess and wicked and evil and like good versus evil and stuff, so good. So we have this story about 2 girls, they're best friends, and we have a very shallow, almost perfectly looking princess compared to this girl who everyone thinks in their village she's a witch, and she dresses all in black, and she's not the stereotypical beautiful girl. And there's this school of good and evil that this director comes, and this schoolmaster, actually that's what it's called, the schoolmaster comes every year into the village and steals away 2 girls. So it's been every 4 years it steals away 2 girls, and it's been the 4 years. So we have Sophie and Agatha, 2 opposites, and they get dropped off in the wrong school. Sophie ends up in the school of evil, dressed in a pink dress, and then Agatha, dressed in all black and some clunky boots, ends up in the school of princesses. So you see where the problem arises. These are super long books. They are middle grade, and a lot of the stories I feel like can be very repetitive. Especially because the next book that I read was the second book in the series, and that is A World Without Princess, still by the same author. A lot of the problems are repetitive, you know, it's like middle grade, so the kids are like 12 years old, 13 years old, and it's hard to balance having a boyfriend and having a best friend, and especially when your best friend's in love with the boy you love, you know. I haven't been through that personally either, but you know, it's books, okay, you live through them. And it was very, I think I liked the aspect of the princesses and the evil, and then also what is good is a very big question here, and like, can you be evil and still want to do good for someone else? And then their friendship was just so beautiful to see bloom. And Tedros, my prince, I love him. He's King Arthur's son, and wow. In the second book, they really go into his mom, like, whenever might have to read that next. I'm actually currently reading the 3rd book, but I'm not done with that yet because it's quite a hunker. I finished Daisy Jones and the Six. That audiobook. If you've read the book, if you haven't read the book, go for the audiobook, please. Taylor Jenkins Reid's just, I've never read anything from her before, and wow, was that a mistake? I love her now. Like, I cannot. Daisy Jones and the Six is about this mythical band. It's a fake band, which I didn't realize until like a little too late, but it's a fake band, and it's told in interviews for each band member, and they tell their start to their end, and it's during the 60s and 70s, I think, or 70s and 80s. I can't remember very well, even though I just finished it. But I was driving and I cried, and I had to put on some One Direction and make me cry harder and also make me feel better at the same time, you know what I mean? So all I want is the record. If anyone knows of anyone that's doing the songs, is a cover, just let me know, because I need Honeycomb, and I need Regret Me, and I need what is it, Turn That Off, something like that. Give them to me. Taylor, what are you doing? The end of the audiobook has like acoustic of Honeycomb, and wow, I'm just gonna cry. Okay, I'm just going through it right now. Okay, please read Taylor Jenkins Reid's Daisy and the Six, because I might have to just re-listen to it, because I want to so bad. That's all I want to do, is to just rewind the whole audiobook the minute it was over. It was so good. I love Graham. Okay, so that is it for my March a wrap up of everything. This one was a little more chill. I'm trying out different settings for my background and how to film. I think I like doing my TBRs kind of more relaxed style and less structured. Let me know if you like that too, if you would like me to go back to having it a little closer to the bookshelf, if you'd want me to see different locations, see if I can test out different things. If you want me to have a more structured synopsis for each, I can do that too. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best option for me and what you guys would like to see more. Let me know what was your favorite read of this month too. Like the video, subscribe if you like it, you know. If you like the video, might as well subscribe. You guys have a great day.